my Cancer friends. I hope you're doing well. This is Anna with Soul Embrace Tarot, and this is a love reading. It's intended as a love reading for singles, but you know, if you are compelled to watch it and you're drawn to it, there may be a message for you in here. Intention is also for Cancer Sun, Moon, and Venus, and Rising. So let's see what energy is currently surrounding your love life. Oh, there's some blockage for sure. There's been some disappointments in relationships. There's sadness and really dissatisfaction and feeling like you haven't been successful in the relationship department, right? And so that causes a lot of lack of self-trust, like you don't trust your decision making or your intuition. You know, you kind of feel like, I can't trust my intuition when I'm drawn to someone because I've had these past failures. That may be something you're going through now. The failure, quote unquote, may have been a past relationship, and so you've been kind of stuck in that sort of attitude of, I'm not bothering with it because I don't trust myself in meetings and being able to meet someone that is going to be worthwhile for me. But then I see here like trying to come in. You know, maybe there's some healing, maybe there's been some processing, some understanding of that, you know, it's you know, understanding what your role is and those failures in relationships in the past. I feel like that's a crucial thing to do, because that's a big lesson or learning opportunity. When you look at what you contributed to the making of the relationship and what you contributed to the breaking of the relationship, if that applies, right? It's important to see what your role is, you know, so that you can see if there's things that maybe you need to heal or fix, quote unquote, things that you need to maybe shift your perspective on. And sometimes that happens naturally with time and maturity. Sometimes it never happens unless you take an actual initiative to try and find what it is, the patterns, your patterns. We tend to behave in patterns. And if you really are able to look as objectively as possible, you will recognize the patterns. Oh, you know, I do this. I give of myself too much. I lose myself in relationships. I do things that others want me to do, but I don't necessarily want to do, you know, and then that develops resentments, all of that. You got to process your stuff. I know I always say that because it's really true. I'm going to keep saying it because I don't think people listen to me. You have to begin to trust your intuition. You have to, you know, and that processing doesn't mean that you beat yourself up and that you feel ashamed or that you feel like a loser. You can't do that. You have to be great. You have to be patient with yourself and allow yourself some grace, because and forgiveness. Oh, I did make stupid decisions. but I'm aware that they are stupid decisions. I'm not that person anymore. I forgive myself for having gone through that and for having, you know what I mean. Okay. I feel like there's other things going on aside from the relationship stuff. You may feel like you've missed opportunities in other areas of your life. That may be just someone here. But I also see the beginning of the healing here. And so I see it as a progression. This can be at different cycles of your life. We go through the same things sometimes because we empower ourselves, we feel good, and then life throws a curveball at you and you kind of get deflated again, and then you build yourself up that's normal. I feel like that's normal. Anyway, I see it coming back to reality because some of this may have been, or some beliefs that you have are a little too fantasy, right? And so you have to have a reality check, basically. It's a reality check. And I see that happening here. Understanding what your dreams really should be. What are the realistic dreams versus, no, don't lose the fantastical ones. Because you need a little magic in your life. You need to believe in miracles. You need to believe in those things. I feel it just makes life more interesting. You don't need to, but it's better if you do. It's more fun. If you believe in the mysteries of life, because they're there, they're surrounding you. But, you also need a reality check. We all do, even though we don't like to admit it. It's easier for some than for others. And then once you get more clarity on what you're really working with, we're talking about love life, right? And that can be, as I've said before, friendships, the work, relationships, because that involves a lot of dynamics. And we spend a lot of time at work, right? So it can be family, it can be self-love, however you interpret that. I tend to lean more in these readings. My interest is in seeing information about a potential life partner, because I'm specifically saying singles. But then I also open it up to just anybody. You could be in a relationship and watching these videos, these readings, and getting something out of it. So, it's open to everyone. But my focus is on trying to see what your energy is regarding a relationship. I see that there's been some kind of mistakes in the past. And I see here the beginning of a healing, but less magical and more practical, more grounded, more lifting and improving of a self-esteem, that kind of thing. Also connecting with intuition and trusting your intuition. I feel that whatever experience happened here broke your trust in your intuition, and that can happen. And it may happen several times throughout your life. And then I see here someone who potentially could be somewhere energetically for you. And we'll take a look at that person. It's the Hierophant in reverse, which is interesting. That's a little bit of a rebellious, someone who still, in my opinion, is interested in commitment, but it's not in the traditional sense. What do I mean by that? There's more of a rebellious energy in this individual here. Someone who has, their own belief systems, but they're very independent, very free thinking, free flowing kind of. I don't like being tied down by conventional, traditional rules. They still would be interested in a relationship, but not in the traditional, conventional, that keeps coming up, sense. So we'll take a look at this person, because this is sort of what's coming towards you if you align yourself to that, right? Let's see, what else can we get here that can help us. There's the part of the healing process. It's the contemplation of my life events. And we all have to do that. It's part of the life process. You have to. Or else you stay stuck and then you can't complain about it, is my take. That's interesting. So we'll take a look. This is separate. Yeah. A lot of strain and tension, feeling like you're being pulled back and forth in this energy here before the healing begins or the processing begins. I mean, there may be patterns throughout all of these readings because, you know, I see things in a narrative, linear sort of way. I don't know if that makes sense. I see kind of like the past, the present, and the future, sometimes it doesn't show up that way, but it's been showing up that way. I've kind of noticed that because it gives different people different perspectives. Not everyone is in the same phase. So I think that's why the Spirit wants to represent the different phases so you can see what can come in, what can be coming in for you. There's there was definitely a strong experience that happened that kind of left you altered, you know, and then those many relationships alter who you are in a positive and or negative way. So there's been a lot of tension and strain and feeling like, and being on the defensive. That shows up a lot too. Being defensive. I need water. Sorry, hold on. But the beautiful thing about this, again, for those that are being drawn to this, because I know many people who don't go through the processing or the healing process. They stay stuck forever because they just don't want to see. They repeat the same toxic patterning over and over again. But the people I'm being drawn to are people that, for some reason, this kind of stress, this kind of strain at some point, and maybe this is the point, it launches you. It sets this pain, this lack of trust, lack of self-trust, lack of loss of faith, you know, kind of catapults you into healing, into processing, into trying to understand what the heck happened here. And so that trying to understand leads into the healing, understanding, changing of behaviors, of patterns. You can stop your patterns. You can shift them, change them. And that's what I see in this phase here. It's like the pain catapults you into processing and looking at your stuff, getting clarity, contemplating, taking a break, you know. There may be inner child healing, some of the patterning that we all follow and participate in, the patterning that we participate in comes from our parents, from the people that we grew up with watching. You're learning how relationships work. If there was toxicity or in a household, that's what you learn. That's how you believe that you need to interact in a relationship. So it's not unusual to repeat that as you grow up in your own relationships. But it takes level of maturity, of readiness. It happens when it at the right time that it's supposed to happen, that you get that clarity of, oh wait, I'm repeating the patterns that my parents, my grandparents, my aunt, my uncle, whoever. I'm repeating those patterns that I just watched and I thought were normal. I understand now that they're not normal. So I'm going to change that about myself. I can't change how others behave. I can't go back now and tell my parents, hey, you messed me up. Because really, what's the point of that? You can forgive them because they didn't know any better. And of course, you were just a sponge absorbing things. I'm giving just an example. Not everyone has had bad relationship patterning as, growing up. But for those that did, you have to forgive those people because that's all they knew how to do in that moment. They weren't processing their stuff. They didn't know how to deal with it. So they behaved in patterns that they probably witnessed. It's just we keep repeating things over and over again until we stop it. You have the power to stop it once you become aware that it's a pattern in the first place. So you go within, you try and heal that inner child. You tell that inner child, hey, you did the best you could, and they did the best they could, and we're going to just forgive each other and move on. We don't hold on to that. We don't call ourselves victims. Because, in that case, everybody's a victim. The victimizer is a victim, right, of what they experienced. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. At some point, you have to just stop. I'm not a victim. I'm moving forward, healed or in the process of healing, and forgiving and forgetting and releasing so that you can move on. And it doesn't mean you won't every once in a while remember and be like, damn. Ugh. But you don't hold on to it and hide in a corner, crouched, crying. You can understand and release and move on and do the things that you want to do. Don't waste any more time on being a victim. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing too much of a victim, but I'm bringing it up because, you can stay stuck in that. You're balancing your chakras here. Looking at all the different things, establishing foundation, coming to terms with your own sensuality and sexuality. What does that mean to you? How can you make that a sacred experience? Your self-confidence, your being grounded, centered, connecting with nature. I'm telling you all the things that have to be done. That we should be working on all the time. We should be trying to improve our open ourselves to love, speak our truth. I'm going up the chakras. What I'm describing that we should all be working on is going up the chakra line, the 7 main chakras that we all talk about. Connecting with your intuition, and finally, understanding what your spiritual self is. What does that mean to you? That in itself is a whole process. You can practice meditation. Start with guided meditations. All that. Rest. Give yourself some grace and patience because this is a difficult process and it's a long process. And you take 10 steps and 5 steps back. And then you'll take 1 step and then 3 back. I mean, it just happens. All right. This is what's coming towards you. So I want to see who this person is. Get an idea. It's someone who's a little rebellious. Doesn't mean that they don't want commitment. They just maybe aren't the marrying type, because the Hierophant is traditional, conventional, represents several things, but can represent marriage. In reverse, he's a little rebellious. He's like, the rules. Sick of the rules. I believe that you may be more traditional, but you are drawn to this person that is not like you. You may be opposites. This person isn't necessarily exactly like you. Because of this eclipse here is the opposite. Union of opposites. The sun with the moon coming together, right? But there's definitely a magnetism here. You may meet this person when you are seeking some kind of support system. This person will be a support to you. Tell me more. Oops, I mean, it didn't want to. I believe that this person will challenge you. And at first, it may feel like, oh my God, unpleasant. You may not like this person at first. This is interesting. Maybe this person reminds you of someone from the past. Maybe it is someone from the past. Sorry, I'm not saying it is, but it's possible. Or they remind you of maybe someone from your past that you've been trying to heal from, and all of a sudden, oh my God, this person's exactly like so-and-so. Ugh, get away. But there's support here. At some point, you feel the support. You feel, yeah, you may be recycling back and forth you may struggle with those family patterns that I mentioned earlier, because it's coming through here again. And I'm asking about what is coming towards you. It's possible that for some of you, this is not about a relationship, a love relationship. This may be about family. I'm just throwing that in and then moving away from that, because I see family patterning here a lot. And so it needs restoring. Okay? Now, coming back at the family thing, you don't have to, you're not forced to restore relationships with people that have been harmful to you, but the restoration happens within you. And that's part of that forgiveness and releasing. That's restoration of that wound within you regarding those family patterns that you feel strongly were forced on you, or if I wouldn't be like this if it wasn't for them, that kind of thing. That's victim mentality. I knew it would come back. Because there was a reason why I said all that, and it's here. So make sure you maybe take a look at that. Water break. Okay. This relationship here will require some work. I know nobody wants to hear that. You want it to be easy and smooth, but it's a strong bond. And it's one that with okay, so this person has been through that processing of the family patterning. This person understands that. And you are going to be someone Not everyone, now for sure, not everyone will resonate with this part. Whatever processing it is that you have to do to get yourself out of that maybe victim mentality is something you're going to recycle over and over again. It's going to keep coming back to you because you're going to remember a detail and then be plummeted into that process again. This person understands that and supports you in this journey of yours where you're not yourself. You're stuck in the past and you're maybe embarrassed about it. They support you and understand you anyway. They understand that there's, it's almost like shared secrets. There's things that they understand about you without even knowing the details of it. Is that making sense? There's beautiful abundance here in this relationship. It's not conventional though. There's it's very just full. It's full of support, of love. It's not conventional. It can be confusing at first because it's like, but things get revealed. This person is comfortable revealing things, and that kind of makes you like, wow, wow. All right, I know this is very strange. It's so specific, but I don't know. It's for someone. They will understand and support you and allow you to reveal secrets that you would have never revealed to anyone. So there's deep things here that you have held within. Somehow the interaction of the energy with this person, your energy with this person, pulls that out of you. And that is what really solidifies the healing. Tell me about this, more about this person. You see, the mask, there's concealment here. And this is not, what this is saying here is not how I'm seeing it. Hold on. It's fascinating, man. I wish you had access to my brain. I mean, I would give you you'd have to sign a waiver because it's scary in there. But I wish you could see what I'm seeing. Because this card says deception. But I tie it very much to the eclipse card, which is also a concealment. The moon hides the sun. The moon hides the sun's truth. You know what I mean? Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. I don't see that. If anything, it may be you that's wearing a mask because you're trying to still conceal. And this person has already done the processing that they need to do. They pull the masks from you. Their presence, their energy, their willingness to be comfortable in discomfort. This person is not conventional. This person is different. And you're the one with the mask, as far as I'm concerned. And it's almost like their energy, the things they say, the way they look at you, it makes you shed your masks. And that throws you off because you're comfortable with your masks. Wow. And so, yeah, it will make you uncomfortable. But there's beautiful abundance. Tell me more about that relationship. I want to know more. I'm so nosy. Look at that. This is a beautiful connection. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. I'm telling you, because someone that can pull you out of your shell, someone who has done the work. This person is honest and tells the truth, reveals their truth, lives in their truth and in their integrity. And that's why they can't follow the rules. I mean, they're not lawbreakers, but they don't do the traditional things that people expect from them because they've processed their stuff and they recognize that you may say you've processed your stuff, but they know better. And by just saying a couple things, you are drawn to revealing yourself. And that becomes like this really fruitful, powerful, supportive, beautiful connection. The romance of a lifetime. That is fascinating. Dang. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm going to leave it there. So what can they do, Spirit, to to align with this love? Or whatever. The love you desire. If there were 3 choices, you'd probably choose 2 of the 3, and this would have been the 3rd one. Because I feel like this is a connection that you would never consider. So that's part of the healing you got to do, is opening yourself up. That's part of the opening the heart chakra. Balancing that heart chakra. Opening it up. To being open to the love that's meant for you. Not the love that you would choose. And put a name on it and a face on it. I'm just saying, man. What can they do to align with this love? The love that they desire. The love that they need. Fine. You flipped. Because you don't want to look at some of the family patterning. You don't want to look at it. And that may be the one thing you need to look at. Look at that. Surrender resentments. Holding on to resentments only poisons you. Try to, Spirit, come on. Thank you. Ooh. Try to forgive others for their shortcomings. And keep moving forward toward positive situations in your life. Surrender to trust. Trust yourself and your decisions. That's what's going on here, is lack of trust. Because, life, when life throws you around, throttles you, it does. It throws your trust. You're like, what do I trust anymore? Trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. The family patterning, other people telling you what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. I'm loving this. Okay, the last guidance. 1, please. Just 1. Just 1. That's all we need. Just 1. Thank you. Inner peace. You are letting outside circumstances create turmoil and frustration within you. Remember, who is doing that out there? You annoying bleeping bleeper. I've decided that in my videos, whenever I want to say the F word, I should just say bleep. Let's see how that works. You are letting outside circumstances create turmoil, and frustration within you. Remember, you always have the power to choose your response. Let inner peace attract a higher vibrational outcome for you. That's beautiful. Oh, I hope that I don't know if that's I don't know if that's focusing. I hope you enjoyed your reading. It was interesting. Thank you so much for watching. My soul embraces yours. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And comment. I love comments. Stay blessed. Bye bye.